Hi, I'm the Moroccan Angel, and I'm here to help others set things right with their Maker.
So it's estimated that there are currently 40,000 distinct Christian denominations worldwide. This figure encompasses a wide range of denominations from major global traditions like Roman Catholicism, Eastern Orthodoxy, and Protestantism to numerous smaller and independent churches. The diversity arises from variations in theology, worship practices, organizational structures, and interpretations of the scriptures. New denominations continue to emerge, while others merge or change, contributing to the ongoing complexity of counting and categorizing these Christian groups. Now, behind all of this fragmentation is the conglomeration of man's input or personally biased opinions concerning the teachings of Jesus mixed with arrogance and pride in their own knowledge and the way they deem fit to become quote unquote Christian. You see, when we simply and plainly look at what's happening, these 40,000 different sects are plainly 40,000 varying beliefs, opinions, or interpretations apart from the actual teachings of Jesus. Because you do know that they can't all be right. You do know this, right? Each of these divisions were strongly opinionated and prideful enough to declare, I'm right and that's that, and successfully branched off with their own ideas and what they believe the scriptures to convey. Even the newest additions to the Christian faith that declare unnatural unions acceptable as long as both parties are in agreement. You know, I can't stress this enough. Education. Maybe I'm biased because I'm a teacher, but basic English and comprehension, they are extremely valuable. And I get it. Not everyone has access to a proper education. But when you mix ignorance with pride and stubbornness, you bring forth something evil. When you just step back and you take a look at all of these denominations, these varying ideas and opinions, wow. Like, seriously, let that soak in a minute, especially if you're professing to be a Christian. The truth is, you decided to go with the denomination that most influenced you in alignment with your personal experiences, your own convictions, based on your intellect, and your educational awareness of the Christian faith. The basic truth is that you're the one who approved which Christian denomination that you believe to be accurate. This is dangerous and it's wrong. You're making a judgment about the accuracy of something that you know little about. Let me explain. In the past, they would go to the synagogue or the temple, or they would go to the disciples who they knew without question were those who possessed the genuine spirit of Jesus. They knew this not only from listening to their teachings, but there was physical, tangible confirmations that were demonstrated in direct alignment with what Jesus himself taught and declared would be present in those who were his genuine disciples. Now, if you're unaware or unlearned, you somewhat bounce around, taking bits and pieces of what sounds good along the way and what you don't like or agree with. What do people tend to do? They just kind of toss it aside and they stick with what works, which of course shifts when it comes to different lifestyles, opinions, and this shifts because of knowledge. Now, these different denominations branched off based on different ideas and measures of knowledge in which they believed were accurate concerning the scriptures. And we can see this, we can see the evidence of this, hence the vast denominational differences and confusion. Someone apparently didn't like what was being said or taught and thought that it should be taught or explained a different way, and so they left. Instead of asking or seeking Jesus to see exactly what he said, since they didn't accept what was plainly written. Jesus said, like this is written, Jesus said that his Spirit, also known as the Holy Ghost, would give the true disciple or Christian supernatural knowledge or wisdom. This is supposed to be a supernatural thing, not go to seminary and get, your degree. This is a supernatural thing. Jesus never told. Jesus never told his disciples to go to seminary and then you'll be a true Christian. That's not what happened. It's the true presence of the Holy Ghost or his Spirit indwelling within that individual. The question is, why then are there 40,000 different Christian sects still confused over Jesus' teachings, yet each claiming to possess the true indwelling of his Spirit? Because it's false. In the book of Acts, chapter 8, the Ethiopian had an interaction with the Christian Philip, in which he spoke with him and explained who Jesus was, and he explained his teachings. Now, the Ethiopian had to understand these things first. He had to understand the genuine message of Christianity, or the genuine message and teachings of Jesus, before making the decision to be a vessel in submission to the Spirit of Jesus. Otherwise, the whole experience would have been vain. You see, the Ethiopian encountered someone who genuinely possessed the indwelling Spirit of Jesus. You see, there are too many individuals who are claiming to be Christians, but they're not. They're convinced that they are, but according to the Christian scriptures, according to Jesus's guidelines, they're not. And you'd be surprised, but most quote-unquote professing Christians lack self-awareness and emotional intelligence. And this is one of the things that I help with, or help assist with, not only among Christians, but non-Christians as well. In Romans chapter 8, it confirms that a number of these individuals, if not all of them, those who are convinced that they're Christians, but they're not, evidence of this is that they are after the flesh. And they that are after the flesh, they mind the things of the flesh. And they that are after the Spirit, the things of the Spirit. And mind you, it's not a back and forth thing. If you're going back and forth and struggling with it, that's just the evidence that you have not genuinely been born again. The writer continues that the carnal mind, or those who are in the flesh, it's enmity against God. They're at enmity with him. And they that are in the flesh cannot please God. He states clearly that those who are in the flesh do not have the genuine Spirit of Jesus. And once again, it's not, oh, yesterday I was in the flesh, I wanted to go to the club, or I wanted to sleep with someone else's spouse. That was yesterday, though. Jesus, please forgive me. No, you're playing games with yourself, and you're deceiving your own mind. In the book of 1 Corinthians chapter 2, verse 14, it says, "The natural man receiveth not the things of the Spirit of God, for they are foolishness unto him." And catch this, neither can he know them, because they are spiritually discerned. He cannot know them. If you are aware, like I said, if you're not self-aware, you're not going to recognize this, and you're going to continue on the path that you're going. But if you are aware that your actions are not aligning with what you are claiming, this is a very in-your-face facts that you are not operating in the Spirit, you're operating in the flesh. If you should so happen upon the knowledge that you just may be still operating in the natural or the fleshly mind, and you are professing to be a Christian, this is somewhat of a warning to reconsider some things, because the scriptures are clearly saying that the natural man does not, he cannot know the true things and the true message of Jesus. This clearly indicates that you have no business being on these social media platforms or standing on a public platform like the pulpit, attempting to instruct people about something that the scriptures declare you cannot know. Now, this is crucial because you have individuals who do not have the Spirit of Jesus standing as Christian leaders, convinced that they are, and they've convinced you that they are, but because you're oblivious to what a biblical Christian looks like, you believe them. Not only do you believe them and their version of what they think a Christian is, you're also convinced that you're one, even though you don't align with what Jesus declared a biblical Christian is. Now, it's easy for the wicked to deceive the ignorant, but of course, there is a price to pay. But these quote unquote Christian leaders are scripturally unqualified to instruct concerning the teachings and commands of Jesus. They have no biblical legal right to be baptizing individuals into the Christian faith because they themselves are not even biblical Christians. They don't have a spirit. And you'll see their minions going out trying to boldly declare, this is who Jesus is and this is what he said. And it wasn't. And they're trying to tell you who Jesus is. And catch this, they've never met him. They only had a quote unquote dream, or they quote unquote felt his presence. Seriously, like, just take a moment. Jesus himself said that to the genuine Christian, he will come to you. Hear me now. He will come to you in his resurrected form. Not in a dream, not in a vision, not a feeling of love, forgiveness, and joy. No. He will come to you as he is, in his resurrected form. You're professing to be a Christian? Have you seen him in his resurrected form, in the way that he said you would? Tell me, have you seen him? Here you are trying to argue on YouTube and TikTok about who Jesus is and what he taught, and you don't even know him. Talking about you're a Christian and still committing fornication, still deceiving, still abusing your body and the bodies and hearts of others, still sinning. Wait. Still in bondage to sin. And Jesus himself clearly declared that if you are still in bondage to sin, you are not free. Come now. This is basic. It's like those individuals who see a celebrity on TV and they're like, oh, I watch them so much. Oh, I know him. Oh, I know her. Because I've watched her. I've seen all her movies. And, no, you don't. You don't know them. When individuals presume that they know someone because they know certain things of someone or about someone. And so what is at the core of the confusion and division? I'll tell you. It's because Jesus is not the source. Carnal, fleshly individuals are. You have individuals standing on the pulpit leading thousands, millions, who are prideful, arrogant in their own knowledge, that they know Jesus, but they don't. They're convinced They've convinced their own selves that they have a relationship with Jesus, but they don't. You know, in the original Testament, it speaks of the Creator giving them over to the imaginations of their own mind. It's really wild. How do I know this? How do I know and I'm convinced that Jesus is not the source, especially in the modern Christian churches today? Oh my goodness. It's written in black and white. There's no biblically aligned evidence. Just look and see. There's no evidence or confirmation of his true spirit and supernatural power within the lives of those who are sitting in the churches or those who are standing on the pulpit. What you see in the modern churches today is emotionally moving speeches. And it's not just in the churches, it's on the streets as well. These preachers have taken to the streets. And what do you see? You see emotionally moving speeches, crying and tears, and a play with words. And you may say, well, I've seen healings, I've seen miracles. Bring it to me. And I'll tell you if it was genuine or not. I'll tell you if it was the true spirit of Jesus. If you are looking for biblical references, because everything I teach and present to you, I am very careful to be sure that it is biblically aligned, and I let the scriptures speak for themselves. They're very simple, very clear. The problem comes when people don't want to accept what is written. I offer biblical reference guides to a number of my video lessons. So if you're interested in that, I will leave the link, and you can biblically fact check everything that I have presented. If you'd like to delve a little deeper, or if you have questions, you can schedule to speak with me, or you have the opportunity to align your actions with your beliefs through a series of coaching calls with me, structured around practical applications to build self-awareness, discipline, and resilience. And it's all centered on biblical principles and a true awareness of God. I want to say thank you for listening. I'm happy you joined me today. I'm the Moroccan Angel. Remember, do what is right, always. It matters.